Hi everyone, my name is Susan McElderry. Some of you may or may not know me, and some of you may or may not know that for quite some time now I've been in the process of writing a book. The first thing you may ask is, why am I making this video? Well, for quite some time now I've been writing this book, and I've had quite a few people who constantly keep in touch and they'll inquire about the status of my book. And the first words out of my mouth are usually, "You're not going to believe this." So as time had been going on, I started thinking, man, this whole process, has been a story in itself, all on its own. So, I firmly believe that everything happens for a reason, that God is sovereign over all things, and He has a plan. And I know he'll do good with everything all the struggles that I've encountered along the way. Each week I'm going to share a new video, and they should be short in length, so you're not sitting here for a long period of time. Just giving you a little update on one of the struggles, or maybe something exciting that I had been through as I worked on this book. The next question I would like to answer or address is, why did I wait so long to write the book? Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm not a writer. I've never, formally went to school for writing or had jobs where I was writing for a living. I mean, I did take a couple of creative writing classes over the years, but nothing formal. So that was always one thing that I hesitated with. But, as you're going to see if you read this book, I'm talking to you as plainly as I'm talking now. And I'm telling you my story. And God willing, my story will interest you as far as what God has done in my life and what He has done for me. Another reason why I had to wait is because right after everything happened, it was so raw and so new. And number one, I wasn't ready to write the book. And I also wanted to have a strong biblical foundation. I didn't want to write this book and misquote anything or write anything that wasn't biblically solid. So I wanted to make sure that I had the proper biblical teaching. And thanks to, many members of my church, I have been blessed to have a solid biblical foundation now. Another reason that I needed to wait because of how it might affect my husband and my family. They were a big part and are a big part of my story. So I couldn't move forward without everyone's blessing, but especially my husband's blessing. And thankfully, after some time, he got used to the idea. I did get his blessing. And I am just so thankful for his understanding and of why I feel the need that I need to share this story. So I'm going to start with just a little bit here and tell you where this all began. So like I said, there was a big event that happened in 2014 that changed my life forever. So in 2018, 4 years later, I started to write the book. I just knew that it was time. So basically what I did was I just sat down and started writing my story. So I finished that in around sometime in 2019. So when I made the decision to write my story, I was currently involved in it's called a Titus 2 women's Bible study group. And they were one of the first people that I told that, I felt the need to write this book. And I'll never forget, one of the women there, she just looked at me eye to eye, and she just said, the devil is not going to want this book to come out. Well, what you're going to hear over the next several weeks or months is going to be the story of what the devil did try to do and what he's been doing in trying to delay the publication of this book. But like I said, nothing has happened without God's knowledge and without his sovereignty and his will. I know he is in control of all things. I firmly believe in that truth. It's taken a lot of patience on my end, because before all this happened with me, I used to be a very impatient person, and I had to have that instant gratification. When I wanted something, I wanted it then. I had to have it right now. Well, since then, I've learned patience, and this whole process has even increased my sense of patience, because I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have any peace of mind if I was not patient through this process. So I'm going to share that with you, because I have been thoroughly tested. My patience has been extremely tested, and you will hear those stories as time goes on. I also plan on, from time to time, maybe reading some excerpts from my book and maybe getting some feedback, seeing how you guys like it. I'm still tossing around the title. I thought, this is another thing, I thought I had the title set in stone and knew what it was going to be, but now I'm not so sure, and I'm throwing around a couple of ideas. Most importantly, I'd like to ask for your prayers, because Lord knows that we all need prayer, but I would treasure your prayers for the rest of this process with this book, so I can get this published and out into the hands of the ones that God has chosen to read my book. So that's another thing. I don't stress about who's going to read my book, how many people are going to read my book, because I know in my heart that it's going to get into the hands of those that God intended. Another thing is that I will be putting together a launch team, and at some point I'll be contacting these people. So, we can go ahead and start now, that if you have any interest in being on my launch team, which that means, of course, you'd get a free copy of the book, but you will also help promote the book. You'll read it, you'll give reviews on Amazon and some other sites. You'll promote it if you like it. If you really like the book, you promote it for me, help to promote, get the word out, because this is such a subject that really needs to be voiced and heard. It's one that's not talking about as much, especially in Christian circles. So I would really treasure any of those that would be interested in being a part of my launch team. If you do have an interest, you can go ahead and comment, or you can private message me. Your name, your address, and your email address would be the most important. And we will go from there over time, and I will give updates when we'll start putting the launch team together and start moving forward with that. So I'm excited to be here, to finally be talking about this process, talking about my book openly, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say and to share my next video. I'm excited to get started. I'll share more in my next video, a little bit about my story and how this whole process started. So thanks for watching, and I will be talking to you soon. Have a blessed day.